Hello, fellow ship geeks and ocean liner buffs and collectors out there. This is your old friend Commodore Urban here with another video from the Commodore's collection. And I'm going to talk to you about menus. You're thinking, menus? Yeah, well, you had to eat on the ship too, you know, so. And for different companies and stuff, they produce all kinds of these different style menus, which I have a variations of menus from all different ships, but I'm going to show you variations of menus used on the SS United States, because I have quite a few of them and I'd like to show you. And before I begin here, I would love it if we can get my channel up to, 500,000 subscribers. That'd be nice. But anywho, the first style of menu that was used on the United States, or some of the most common styles that were used, are the ones that look like this. They're red, white, and blue with gold eagles on the top and bottom and gold lettering for the word menu. And this one here is a luncheon menu. And this one here is from Thursday, March 13th, 1958. And basically, it's pretty simple, really, honestly. It's just a card. You open it up. There's the name of the ship. There's your menu, and on the back side, it says United States Lines. Now, they actually had two variations of that particular menu. That's the luncheon menu, and then they had the one that says dinner. And this one here is the same exact thing, except this one says dinner. As you can see, it says dinner right there versus luncheon. And this menu here is actually from Tuesday, August 10th of 1954. And this one here doesn't have much variety on it. But what's really cool is because I actually have a breakfast menu, which I'm going to show you here in a moment, also from the same day I got with this same menu here. But as you can see on the back side, it's the same as the luncheon menu. The only difference between them is either one says luncheon, one says dinner. And this one here, they had breakfast menus, which is basically just a single card. It had the red, white, and blue, and the gold eagle at the top, and at the bottom, at the top it says breakfast. And at the bottom, it tells you the date, and it says here Tuesday, August 10th of 54. And on the bottom it says United States Lines. And basically, this is basically what your breakfast menu was. It was just a basic, simple card, and it had all your variations on there. And that's the way the breakfast menus were set up for quite a few years when the ship was in service. Now, other menu styles that they used depended variably on the era in which the ship was sailing. And one of the more glamorous menus that was used on the ship was called the Gala Dinner Menu, the Gala Menu. And they had two variations of it. The first variation, the earlier variation of it, was a blue menu with all this like red, white, blue confetti and stuff, and it had the painting, the oral painting of the ship in the center. Now in later years they changed it up to be white with this gold festive stuff with the painting. Now I actually have the later version of that menu, which right here, I actually have 4 of these menus, 4 of them different examples of the same menu, but 4 of them from different time periods. This one is from Saturday, January 14th of 1967, and that was the food they were offering on board. What's really neat about these is, unlike the menus I showed you, the cards themselves weren't printed on the ship. Instead, they were printed by a printing company on shore, and they were brought to the ship. Now the thing inside here, this part here, this was printed on the ship, and they just put them inside, and they added this little ribbon here for a festive touch. So, like I said, and this is the back side of it. It's very plain, basic, says United States Lines. Now, like I said, I have 4 variations here, and I'll go through them with you just to kind of show you, little bit of differences, which there's not really any. It's the same exact thing. They've used this for years. They basically used this one for long. This one's actually different because I think a passenger had this one because they've cut the menu and stuff. They've cut the menu itself and they glued it in there. And this is from Monday, August 11th of 1952. So this is an early one because they started using these early, but they didn't go all the way to them until later on because they had, like I said, the blue version, which I don't have. but I will acquire one and I'll do a video of it. And I guess the passenger glued in a playing card. Yes, that is a playing card with the SS United States on it, and it's a nighttime scene says United States Lines, which I thought that's kind of an interesting piece, because I think a passenger done this. Passenger probably cut that up and made that themselves. And on the back it says United States Lines. And I have two more of them menus here, which, like I said, same thing. And the date of this one here is Saturday, August 22nd of 1959. And Commodore John W. Anderson was the captain or the Commodore of the ship. And like I said, it's just the same thing like the other menus. They all have the same little things on it. And finally, I have this last one, which the backside, it's got some wear and stuff on it, like some kind of like yellowing. And this one's also from 1959. It's Monday, September 14th, 1959, also with John W. Anderson as commanding officer. And by the way, John W. Anderson was the longest commanding officer of the United States. Now they also had these smaller menus too. They had smaller ones. They're a smaller version of the menu. And they had, this one here is from Tuesday, September 15th of 59. And this was for a luncheon held for the Rotary, Lions, and Kiwanis clubs. And it was hosted by David T. Fitzgerald, which was the chief purser on the ship. And as you can see, that was the menu that they had, which is kind of a neat little menu, because they've used this style menu too for years too. And on the covers of them, they had famous clipper ships. This one here is the clipper ship Red Jacket, which that would have been, like I said, 50s. And this other one here is the clipper ship Hukwala, which says United States Lines has, and that's all it says, United States Lines has a picture of the clipper ship. And on the inside, this is from Wednesday, 3rd of July of 1968. And the captain was John S. Tucker. And this was an early dinner, as they call it. It's an early dinner menu. An early dinner menu. As you can see, there really wasn't that much to offer. That was for early dinner, if you wanted to. But they also had, during her later years, from the 60s and stuff onward, sorry, it's my dogs, they're barking again. Anyway, they came up with several other designs to the later 60s. And they had these ones which had all these different like landmarks and stuff from around the world. And this one here is the Garmisch-Partenople Mountains. And this one was given to me by an elderly couple, which they found out I built this giant model of ship, and they gave this to me. This was a piece that they remember keeping, and they gave it to me. And it's from Saturday, June 29th of 1968. And on the back side, it shows you the mountain range in Germany from where these mountains are at. The second variation of this menu I have is got the Statue of Liberty. And it basically has got the history of the Statue of Liberty and stuff in the back. And there is the early version of the United States Lines crest, or what they based it off of. And this one here is from Monday, January 16th, 1967. And Commodore Leroy John Alexanderson was in command of the ship at that time. And, I mean, there have been other styles of it too, which I don't have all the variations, like I said, but I have several of them. And this one here is of Colonial Williamsburg, and there's actually a little thing on the back that shows a little bit of it, which these are kind of interesting too. They were just trying to change up the style a little bit. And this one is from January 15th of 1967, also with L.J. Alexanderson as the commanding officer of the ship. Now, two more dinner menus I have are the newest ones I have. Well, I don't mean newest like the latest ones I acquired, but year-wise. And these would have been from the Safari 1968. And these are really, really flamboyant menu covers. They had two different styles. This was style number 1, which, like I said, these were printed on shore. They weren't printed on the ship, but they printed stuff inside. This was a luncheon menu, which is neat. Saturday, February 3rd, 68, and it had the Commodore Alexanderson as the commanding officer of the ship. And it has the suggestion, and there's your menu. Reach from here, and it reads from over here. And the back side is just real plain, basic letters. It says United States Lines. Now the second variation is similar to the first, except it's blue and is a whole nother set of characters, which as you can see is a lot different than the first in the backside. It's just like the green one, but it's blue and it says United States lines. This one here, I believe, oh, this is the dinner menu. This is from Monday, February 5th of 68. And as you can see, it folds out too, just like the luncheon menu. It's got suggestions, and then there's your menu. And it's also the same captain as on the last one, Commodore Leroy J. Alexanderson. So, I hope you enjoyed that video and learned a little bit about the different menus used on the ship. And there are a few different other variations of the menu, which I don't own, but I am going to acquire them. And when I do, I will do a part 2 for this video, like I'm going to do a part 2 for the video I did of the deck plans. So like I said, if you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button for me. And if you got any questions or comments, leave them down below, please. I'd love to hear from you. And finally, if you love my channel, hit subscribe. So until next time, this is your old friend Commodore Urban saying have smooth seas and clear skies, and happy sailing with you.